and straight to Mr. Gabriel's office. Well, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. When I asked if he hadn't heard about my dad's sickness, Mr. Gabriel burst into laughter.
Your father has always acted all tough and strong. I guess death has humbled him. I won't be visiting him. Also, I won't be attending his funeral. A weak man like him who couldn't fight cancer can't be associated with me. If you didn't have our grandchild, I'd ask Liam to end things with you.
My heart sank. Both Mr. Gabriel and Liam were monsters, heartless monsters. I was about to leave when his wife came in.
Oh, Monica, you're here. I heard your dad is going to be dying soon.
Can you all stop being so freaking insensitive?
Well, isn't he dying soon? Anyway, we won't be attending the funeral, so accept our condolences in advance.
You all are so evil and shameless. I angrily left the place. I needed to make them pay. Hi everyone, my name's Monica, a 33-year-old single mother. Over the years, I've had quite a lot of ups and downs, starting with when I lost my mother when I was 10. At the same time, my dad got fired from his workplace, and we had to live on his savings until it ran out. He tried hard to get a job, but all his efforts were in vain. Well, until luck shined on us. He came across one of his old friends in quite an unpleasant way. The man had almost hit my dad with his car, but he was quick enough to stop right in time. When he came out, he saw my dad and was surprised.
What? You look so dirty, Greg. What the hell happened to you? Gosh, I can't believe I nearly hit you. Are you intentionally walking carelessly so you can get hit and pay for it? How can you think so low of me? I wouldn't do such a thing. I was simply deep in thoughts and you were driving too fast. Oh, please, I know your tactics. Tell me what happened to you.
My dad didn't want to share, but Mr. Gabriel forced him until he did. He explained how he lost my mom and his job and was now broke and jobless. Mr. Gabriel said a lot of degrading things to him, but my dad was calm and ignored his words. He went with Mr. Gabriel to his company, and he gave my dad a job in his production department. My dad was so happy. When he reached home and broke the news to us, we were just as happy as him. He ironed all of his corporate outfits, which he hadn't worn since he lost his job. After ironing, he arranged them properly and began to get ready for the next day. Life at Mr. Gabriel's company wasn't enjoyable, but my dad endured it all because he wanted to be able to provide for us. No matter how much the man looked down on him, my dad never complained. Instead, he would apologize and try to fix whatever it was, regardless of whether he was at fault or not. My dad never spent recklessly. He worked so hard but spent his money on our well-being. We never lacked anything. My dad was also wise enough to save a part of his salary monthly. Time flew by and I was soon done with college. I got a nice job, stopped my dad from working, and got us a bigger and more comfortable apartment. Then, I placed my dad on a bi-weekly salary to ensure he never lacked anything. My younger sister was done with college too and had gotten a new job. My younger brother was in his final year in college. While I took care of my father, my sister was kind enough to cater for my brother's needs in school. Our family was happy. My grandparents also lived with us to ensure they didn't get lonely, as well as my dad. It was in that period that I met Liam. We met at a mall and somehow clicked after we helped a pregnant woman in labor to reach the hospital right in time. He seemed like a nice guy, so we began talking. We would speak over calls and texts, then go out to eat whenever we were free. He was a cool person to be around with, so I loved the friendship. Well, as they say, feelings always find its way in. After a year of being friends, we couldn't deny what we felt for each other. Liam confessed first. That night, he asked me to be his girlfriend. Of course, I agreed. A week later, he told me he wanted us to get to know each other on a more personal level, and by that he meant introduction to each other's parents. It was a huge step which made me both excited and nervous. I had to visit his parents first. Well, you can imagine my surprise when I met Mr. Gabriel, who turned out to be Liam's father. And yeah, he recognized me.
Aren't you Greg's daughter? I saw you a few times when you were younger. Greg also showed me a picture of you when you graduated college. Liam, her father, used to work at my company. He was a stinky man, but he was hardworking. I can't believe you're dating his daughter.
Greg used to be so poor back then. I can't believe he now has a successful daughter.
Well, he has 3 successful children. My siblings are also doing well, and it's all thanks to my dad. I was embarrassed, but Liam didn't notice. Mr. Gabriel asked to see my father, but I refused. Liam had to pay him a visit like I did to his parents. Then we could organize a meeting. I didn't like how they were speaking down on my dad like he was nothing. It even pissed me off the most to see Liam sitting and smiling there like he wasn't hearing his parents. I'd planned to confront him later, but it slipped my mind. 2 days after I met Liam's parents, I took him to my family. My dad, unlike Liam's parents, spoke good about them. He also agreed to the meeting. Luckily, they didn't get angry at the meeting. Everything went smoothly. We began planning our wedding after 6 months of dating. My sister helped me with nearly everything. She made things so easy for me. The wedding was a grand one. My father-in-law was popular, so they were people of high caliber in attendance. I was the happiest. My wedding came to an end with 0 problems. Well, the first months after my wedding were good too, as well as the first 2 years after my daughter's birth. My grandparents both passed away, and even though it was disappointing that Liam's parents didn't attend their funeral or even send their condolences, I didn't mind. After my daughter's 2nd birthday, I got a call that my dad had fainted and had to be rushed to the hospital by my brother. I took my daughter and went there to see my dad still unconscious. The doctors had run a test on him, so awaited the result. Well, it came out that my dad had terminal cancer. My world shattered right before my eyes. How? How can that be possible? The days that followed were sad ones. All we could do was sit and watch until my dad's last breath. He remained strong, giving us advice and showering us with lovely words, which only made us cry more. That was my most trying moment, but Liam didn't seem to care. He only visited my dad once and barely even stayed up to 10 minutes. As for his father, he pretended like he didn't know what was happening. I confronted Liam after a week. My dad is dying, and you as my husband can't even pay him his last respects by visiting him regularly. Liam, how can you be so cruel?
Well, he's gonna be dying soon anyway. I felt it was best to let you have his last moments with him alone.
His words stung, but I held in my anger. What about your dad? Isn't he aware?
You know my dad doesn't like your dad. He only tolerates him because he thinks your dad is a strong and hardworking man. I'm glad he'll be dying soon so the silly rivalry between them can stop.
I was devastated. He saw his father's toxic and disrespectful behavior as a rivalry between both men. I knew then that I'd made a mistake marrying Liam. Without another word, I stormed out of the house and straight to Mr. Gabriel's office. Well, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. When I asked if he hadn't heard about my dad's sickness, Mr. Gabriel burst into laughter.
Your father has always acted all tough and strong. I guess death has humbled him. I won't be visiting him. Also, I won't be attending his funeral. A weak man like him who couldn't fight cancer can't be associated with me. If you didn't have our grandchild, I'd ask Liam to end things with you.
My heart sank. Both Mr. Gabriel and Liam were monsters, heartless monsters. I was about to leave when his wife came in.
Oh, Monica, you're here. I heard your dad is going to be dying soon.
Can you all stop being so freaking insensitive?
Well, isn't he dying soon? Anyway, we won't be attending the funeral, so accept our condolences in advance.
You all are so evil and shameless. I angrily left the place. I needed to make them pay. But I waited until my dad passed away, which was about a week later. With my siblings, the funeral was organized. Liam and his father weren't there. Well, I might have invited the press to make everyone see that neither Liam nor his parents cared to attend. The next day, the news was everywhere. People were wondering if we got divorced. Press companies invited me for interviews, but I declined. On the afternoon of the same day, I posted a recording. I waited about 5 minutes before deleting it. By then, many people had seen and saved it. On the day I confronted Liam's father and mother, I had recorded our conversation. That was the recording I posted. Liam called me immediately as the recording circulated.
How could you do that to us? Are you trying to destroy my father's company?
Of course not. It was a mistake, honey. Believe me. I didn't even know how the press got to the cemetery, and the baby had accidentally posted the recording while playing around on my phone. Of course, that was a lie. Once the call with Liam ended, I got dressed and accepted to be interviewed. I faked tears and acted depressed to get more pity. And yes, it worked. Posts were flying about our family, everyone against Liam and his parents. I got enough pity. When Liam returned home that night, he was so provoked that he lost control and threw a few punches at me. Our daughter was crying while watching him, and he almost slapped her if I wasn't quick enough to grab her. Well, my sister recorded it all and posted the video the next morning. Liam was done. People stormed their company, protesting for Liam to be fired. He was called a domestic abuser, and their family were tagged as heartless bullies. I immediately got to work. I contacted my lawyer and requested a divorce document. While Liam and his family faced the public throughout that week, I moved to my dad's house and never stopped attending interviews. Liam did too, but even the interviewers were against him. His dad's company was suffering too. The hate from the public was too much, so investors were pulling out. The company was suffering a huge loss in just a week. The divorce document was ready a few days after, and I took it to Liam. He refused to sign it, which forced me to take it to the court. I also requested child custody. After showing them the video of Liam almost hitting our daughter, the court agreed to me getting custody of our child and also got us divorced. Liam and his family were devastated. They were forced to make a video and apologize to the public, promising to change their behaviors. Mr. Gabriel and his wife also apologized for the words they said about my late father before he died. Liam swore to never hit a woman again and apologized for nearly hitting our daughter. He was also made to attend anger management therapy sessions by the court. 2 weeks after we got divorced, Liam moved back in with his parents. The topic of my family versus Liam's had been covered by another news station. Their company wasn't recovering yet, but I knew it wouldn't take much longer. My ex-in-law's company crumbled as everyone boycotted them and left negative comments on their website, which made them broke. They couldn't afford the cars and mansion they were used to, and had to move into a small house. As of now, they are still struggling to revive the company, but they forget that the internet never forgets. Often, Liam's and his parents' car tires are slashed by unknown people when they park outside. I was satisfied with the punishment they received for their behavior and the fact that they apologized. As for Liam, after 3 months of therapy sessions, he was allowed to see our daughter 3 times a month, but our nanny was always present. He tried to patch things up with me, but I blocked every attempt. I refused to be friends or have any relationship with such a callous person. I even went as far as posting online with a fake account, claiming Liam was a plumber and posting his number. People have been calling him nonstop for repairs, and he was forced to change his number. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below saying I subscribed, and we will try our best to reply to your comment.